What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. So, this time, I am coming at you with a game review for a game called Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut. This game is rated M, and it's going to be a little difficult, I think, to avoid the reasons it's rated M, even as I kind of show you some of this game and try to review it. So I may have to age restrict this video. Anyway, but the basic premise of the game is that it's a puzzle game in that you know, like you have your character and you try and, you know, use the directional pad or whatever to, you know, pick a direction, and that slides you physically around the map. But it's let me explain more of that later by actually showing you. It's also a bit of an homage to, like, slasher horror movies, which is why there's a ton of, like, violence and blood and things like that involved in the game. At least typically speaking. Well, there we go. Got worried for a sec that it wasn't going to work right. So the way that they kind of almost format, for lack of a better way to put it, the way the game plays out is that it's like what you're doing, the various puzzles you solve are treated like they're different scenes within the horror movie that you're creating or whatever. So of course you have, you know, Slayaway Camp with various sequels. You also have some of these other things down here which seem to be ones that work a little bit different, sort of like how, you know, a spin-off movie, show, or game would operate a bit different from the main series it's derived from. But let's just go through these menus here. So you can buy different, what are called gore packs, which even just the blatant use of the word gore and things like that is another part of the reason this game is rated M. But basically these are just things that show throughout the game as ways that you may end up killing your victims, because you, as the player, are essentially the killer in whatever movie that you're, you know, doing the scenes for. So these essentially serve as different ways that you could kill your victims. You also have different killers, basically just skins for your character, but some of them are automatically unlocked by the different movies or whatever. Others, you go into this mystery box here and purchase through the coins that you build up in the game. And of course, you get those coins by progressing through the movies and killing people and doing all that kind of stuff. And this just shows, I guess, the different gore packs you would have already unlocked. So this shows different gore packs that you would have already unlocked, used, shown, possibly. Some of these, I think the ones without the check marks, maybe I just, like, haven't seen yet, but they're unlocked. Probably as part of some of these movies that I haven't done quite yet, or whatever. But anyway, then, of course, the killers themselves, like, Skullface like that, comes from Slayaway Camp 1. maskless skull face comes from number 2. So a bunch of these just come straight from the movies themselves. Anyway, I suppose I should hop right into this. I have tried to put this on PG mode to at least give the possibility of not having to age restrict this. Also remove the screen blood splashes, even though there was one on like the title screen. Not sure what the color filters things do. What the color filters do. Field of view doesn't seem particularly important. The exit portal you'll see in a bit, but you can change how that looks. So I guess it's about time I actually get into this. I'm gonna start with this one here, I guess. Because this is just kind of the next one that I have to do in this game.
Nothing tires them out like a hard day at the office.
I'm still not hearing anything. Okay, there we go. That's why.
Be a killer. Slayaway Camp 7. Office hours.
So yeah, Downsizer. Yeah, he's gonna need you to come in on Saturday, or you'll get the axe. It's meant to be, I think, you know, more of a comedic take on this kind of stuff. Also, that spiral thing down there at the bottom, right here, that's the exit portal. So anyway, as you're playing through this, you can use the directional pad to choose left, down, right, up. Okay. Didn't realize that was a thing. Anytime you die, it'll, like, roll credits for some reason. As if that was the end of your movie, I guess. So it would seem that, the shiny blue, or the sparkly light blue and white things, those are all electrified. But anyway, so choose directions on the D-pad, and that moves your character as far as possible in that direction. And your goal is to get to, you know, the victims, civilians, whatever you want to call them. Kill all them, and then get to the exit portal. And then in between, you get stuff like that. Now, these scenes will usually end up having other victims, and you'll be, like, killing in some bloody way those victims under normal circumstances. You know, and that's all dependent on the gorosity slider here. So yeah, the menu is kind of important for how you want the game to look. I still would definitely not say that this is a particularly child-friendly game, even if you do all that kind of stuff, because A, they could just go into the menu and change those settings, and B, like, you know, there's still kind of the idea of killing people. But at the same time, again, it's all kind of pixelated and cartoonish, so the only reason I still think this gets an M rating after all that is just because, like, if you have that slider all the way up, or possibly even part way up, some of the scenes that happen will, like, actually show, you know, not only blood, but it'll show, like, bone and other bodily tissue layers underneath the skin. Anyway, okay. So you see, some of the hazards that apply to your character also apply to the victims, though. And now that I've turned that off, I gotta imagine that these little shocky things don't... Yeah. That stuff doesn't shock me anymore. And the different quote-unquote movies have various unique hazards or mechanics that they introduce or whatever. So there's all that kind of stuff going on. Even though the basic gist of the gameplay remains the same. Just that you move your character around in different directions and try to kill all the victims. Okay, so that phone currently does nothing. That one would bring that victim back. But is that really what I want to do at the moment? See, now they're all like that. So... thing is, I don't really know how well I'd be able to get to these other victims here. But anyway, also, you can slide past these cops with this little target thing right here, like that, but if you stop in front of them, they will shoot you and kill you, and you'll have to redo the scene. Okay, as things stand, I have completed that puzzle mission thing. So yeah. Anyway, not really sure how much else to say about this game. I mean, it's kind of fun. As long as, you know, you don't necessarily mind the general concept of it. Like, I don't know, might be an interesting game to look into if you're a fan of A, puzzle games, and or B, like, horror movies. Especially like the old 80s slasher style. See, yeah, that didn't take too much to figure out. But now I gotta find my way to the portal thing there, which might be the more difficult part of this. Because how do I get to that corner around there? Huh. See, they're not always so simple. Also, at any point, you have the ability to get, like, a top-down view. And you can use... so you can use left bumper to undo any particular move you've made, or set of moves you made, even all the moves you've made. Or, if you want to rewind all the way back to the beginning, you can hit the left trigger. Y will, like, pause the quote-unquote movie that you're in the middle of and take you back to the main menu thing here. At which point you can just press Y again to get back to where you were. Also, if you really get stuck on a puzzle, you can hit the right bumper. And it'll give you... first, it'll give you the option of a hint. But after that, it... after you take the hint, which will give you just sort of a general idea of, hey, maybe focus on this. If you still can't figure it out, it'll then give you the option to just show you the solution for a certain number of the coins that you earn. Which is why I'm generally just saving them up right now. because some of these are a bit difficult. I mean, I suppose, you know, it is possible to try and just brute force your way through it, but that would be an extremely difficult endeavor. But anyway, I am not going to opt into that right now. I am a little bit curious about some of these spin-off movies. Also, the title of this one changes if you increase the gorosity. I don't know why that changes, but it does. So anyway, I'm curious with this, how this one works. Rack up skull coins in this ultra rare bootleg VHS tape of a poorly received after school special. Like, you see these descriptions, and that's how you know it's trying to be sort of a comedic take. Oh, so it's literally just this whole thing.
Spectacular. Amazing. Excellent. Spectacular. Excellent.
Okay, so the little timing things like this that you would normally just get sort of between movie scenes, they also decided to make that its own individual little mini game. And it seems like it's getting more and more precise as it goes along, to the point where eventually you're practically bound to mess up, and then yeah. It says try again, but I don't want to try again. How do I get out of this? Anyway.
Spectacular. Gore-tastic. Splatterlicious.
Glad they have the red skull thing that appears there too.
Bloodthirsty. Splatterlicious.
Anyway, so yeah, there are a couple of achievements associated with this minigame and whatnot. Purge. Get a score of 13. And dang. There were even more achievements associated with that than I thought. Daggum. Anyway, I'm going to intentionally fail this now, just because I want to try to back out of this. And anyway, oh, okay. I'm not sure how the others play out, but that was an interesting little diversion. So yeah, there's even more to the game than just the main gameplay style as well. So, you know, if you ignore the graphics, like if you don't look into those as a significant factor for, you know, how you might rate this game or think of it, it's, like I said, I kind of have fun with it. It's an interesting little puzzle game that, like, sure, you might get stuck at some points, but as we just saw, there's an easy way to earn gold to, you know, possibly get yourself out of those spots that you're stuck in by using the whole hints and then solution thing. And then, yeah, so this really seems like a game that would not be too difficult to pull off for any completionists out there. In fact, I might try and completionist run this one myself. But as it stands, I'm just playing through it for fun at the moment. So, anyway, it's ignoring the graphics, because, like, you know, not every game has to have super realistic graphics, and I think the way that this looks kind of plays into the idea of it being more of a comedic jab at some of the old slasher films and stuff like that. With that in mind, I would actually give this game a pretty high rating. Again, wouldn't recommend it for kids. Honestly, teens, I would say this wouldn't be too much of a problem with. Like, even with all the gore and stuff that comes in it, it's still very, like, pixelated gore. So, I mean, unless there's something down in one of these that gets more realistic looking, which it doesn't seem like it does, then, honestly, I could almost picture this game having a teen rating. I think it's just because the sheer quantity of blood and pixelated gore that you could possibly see that gives it an M rating. So make of that what you will in terms of, you know, like, family friendliness. But on the whole, pretty fun puzzle game. It's pretty substantial puzzle game. I mean, each one of these movies has, I think, like, at least 10 scenes, or at least an average of 10 scenes. So you've got at least 70 right there, plus you've got these things down here, and you've got the whole collectability aspect of, you know, the killers and the gore packs and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, for the tiny little game that it is, it's actually got quite a bit going for it. I would, if I rated this on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this a pretty solid 8 or more. I mean, sure, it doesn't have, like, some massive open world, or, like, state-of-the-art graphics, or any of that kind of stuff, but, like, again, not every game has to be like that. So, it's, I don't know. Like I said multiple times, I've had fun with it. Plus, it's been a game that is easy for me to play while I'm editing videos, because nothing happens unless I make it happen. So yeah, I'm going to stick with an 8 as my rating on this. Maybe even an 8.5. I would solidly put this in, like, if I were to make a list of underrated video games, I would very likely put this on that list. So, again, this is Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut. Let me go and get into the game card here for it. Again, it's rated M. It says because of blood and gore and violence. Let me see it in the Microsoft Store as to what price it typically is. $16.99. Oddly specific price. Honestly, that seems fairly reasonable, given how much there seems to be within the game. I would definitely say if you can get it at a deal of like $10 or less, then go for it. Choose show all versions. There are other versions of it. Videos included in Indie Puzzle Bundle. Oh, okay. So you can also get it as part of some of these packs and whatnot that include multiple games. So if you're considering some of those game bundles and wondered what this game was like out of those, then this gives you a bit of an idea. Alright, so that's going to do it for now. As always, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with others if you want them to see. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to get updates when I post new videos. Look down in the description for info on other social media pages and how to find and follow those. And, of course, leave comments down below with any thoughts that you have regarding this game, whether you would want me to do a full playthrough of it maybe, other games you might want me to play through and or review, or just any other video ideas you have for me, whatever it is. Let me know down below. So that's it. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next video. But until then, stay cool, people.